Just a second. What's up, everyone? It's your girl Rossie, and I'm back with another review. You guys, I am getting ready to go live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube right now. Give me a few seconds. You know, it takes a minute, you guys. You guys know me by now. Give me a second or so. Let me hook up my live on Instagram so we can see that. And okay, y'all, we are live. So what's up, you guys? I have a good friend with me. I recently met her a few months ago. So you guys know I'd be getting my acting on and I'd be trying out for things. And then I got this awesome opportunity, you guys, to work for a company here in Sacramento. They're doing big things. They're called Fathom. It's amazing what they do. They deal in stop and go animation, toymation. I didn't know what it was, y'all. I got on set and I was just like toys everywhere. Oh my gosh. Like, how did I fall backwards in something like this? This crew is absolutely talented designers, producers, directors. Like, they're doing big things here in Sacramento. So, you know, your girl got on set and had to ask some ladies, could you please come on the show? And so Jessie Fernandez, she's a director of art over at Fathom. Found out my girl loves Dracula movies. So we're sitting back. Have you seen this one? Have you seen this one? And then I tell her about Netflix Dracula. And so we had to review this. You guys, this is going to be a spoiler-free review because a lot of people haven't seen it, guys. It came out in 2020. We'll get into that. Right now, let me introduce you to Jessie. What's up, Jessie?
Hi, Rossie. How are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here with you talking about our fave.
So tell them a little bit about you, what you do, and we'll get into Dracula.
Okay. My name is Jessie. I live here in Sacramento. I'm an art director, as she said, at Fathom. We actually recently rebranded. We're known as DM now.
Okay.
I do a lot of the art directing there and building and stuff like that. But naturally, I have a great love of media and film and literature. I went to school for literature. So, you know, this being written as a book and read in class as a young girl, and then to see it become all these different things is very exciting. I paint also, and I really love travel and surfing Google Earth and, you know, astro projecting. So this is my first time on a podcast, but awesome. I like to yap. So
awesome. I'm so happy that you joined me for Dracula here on Netflix. You guys, so Dracula came out, you guys, in 2020. What's up, JoJo? How you doing? Thanks for joining us tonight. JoJo is always on the show. She's always here. She's always in the audience. Thank you, Joey. Let's see. Okay, so this came out in 2020, and it was on Netflix. And guys, like, I didn't know it was a thing. I was talking to Jessie about it. We kind of just happened to run into this while watching Netflix. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why hasn't anyone talked about this film? Well, don't know. Yeah, it is a series, you guys. You have 3 episodes. They're like an hour and some odd minutes, maybe 58 minutes long, you guys, maybe 38. Anyways, it's over an hour long, and it is so good, you guys. You watch the first episode, and then you just, if you're like me, you're gonna binge it out and finish it. So good. Let's see. Let me give you the director. So it was directed by episode 1 was directed by Johnny Campbell. Episode 1 also Paul McGuinn and Damon Thomas. Okay. And it is starring, oh, he's so awesome too. Let's see, what is his name, Jessie? Let's see.
Clay's Bang?
There you go. Yeah, Clay's Casper Bang. He's a Danish actor, you guys, and he is giving, and a magician. Let's see. Yeah, musician. Yes.
Oh, I thought you said magician at first.
I'm sorry, musician. I did say magician. He's a musician, you guys. So this guy is everything. He's what I want Dracula to look like.
Right. He's
first impressions. Yeah, right?
He is dark and handsome.
Yes, he is.
He has like presence, and he has this voice where, I mean, it could be on across the room and you're just like,
yes. Absolutely.
Who's talking to me like that right now? Not me.
Absolutely. Like for real, he really is. He's very attractive. He looks like I said, what you would think Count Dracula would look like. Okay.
Mhm.
Dark and handsome. But first impressions, episode one, we see our lead character, who is John Heffernan, and he's playing Jonathan Harker, Mr.
Mhm.
Harker.
The
What'd you think of
lawyer.
Mr. Harker when you saw him?
I thought this is an unassuming man.
Yes,
And being familiar with the book, I was excited to see him as Jonathan Harker.
yes,
He is so polite. He's a true Englishman.
right,
And that's really what gives like the story like that really nice grounding lift off. And you're like, okay, this man is walking into what we know is a trap. And
yes,
bless his heart. Bless his heart. He meets Dracula at face value like all
yes,
the time. But also isn't like cowardice. He even though he has politeness about him, he's not
yes,
exactly timid. And I
right,
appreciate Jonathan Harker who works
right,
those angles. Um, I mean, I think like canonically he has his fiancee Mina, right?
yes, he
And
does,
and that is across all Draculas, and Dracula has this obsession with Mina and everything else. But
right,
here it's really about Jonathan and Dracula's relationship.
right,
Like, you know, I think they start off this episode with, "Have you guys had sex?" Like,
yes, that's right,
and you're like instantly, where is this Dracula going?
yeah,
Exactly.
right. I was thinking that too. Like, why? What? Okay, okay, appearance here. Okay, so
Mhm,
Mr. Harker has been in a situation that is just, he looks like he's dying of something. He's
mhm,
bald. He's got blisters all over him. Like he looks ill. And there's
mhm,
another thing that's going on. There's flies
mhm.
just flying around him. You don't know, like, obviously he's a patient, but we
What
don't
happened?
know his story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what happened? And they're like,
right.
"We're gonna tell you what happened right now."
Yes,
Meanwhile, a nun is interviewing him, so you
yes.
know some
Demonic, something. Something is just not right. Something's not
Yeah,
right. But when you look at him, he's emaciated. He's just, and he begins to tell his story. Like he was,
mhm,
tell him why he was going to the, and just a little bit, guys. So this is in 1897 Transylvania. The blood drinking count draws his plans against Victorian London. Okay, so
mhm.
that's the story. All the stories of Dracula, like Jesse said, but Mr. Harker's reasoning for why he's going to that castle.
He is going to help him, yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
become the Englishman, and
yes,
his ticket, that is Jonathan Harker, that's his ticket into England, and,
yes,
like, as that dawns on Jonathan, you see him telling his story, and it's like, "Oh, I was his meal ticket there.
right.
He sucked me dry for my
And
knowledge."
gosh, dude,
He
he absolutely does, dude. They arrive at this beautiful, creepy castle,
Mhm,
labyrinth, whatever you want to call it. And when you get there, Dracula is like 90 years old. I mean, he's like on death's door.
yeah,
And I think he mentions to Mr. Harker that he's going to devour him, or
mhm,
he's playing these games with him, these word games and these games. And Mr. Harker's not really picking up on it. You know what I mean? He's not quite getting it. He really thinks he's there. He's going to make a change. He's about to save this man. All of this. So he's not paying attention to, what did you tell me when we were talking before we went live about Dracula never telling lies?
yeah, I mean, he'll be like, "I don't drink," and he's like, "Okay, I thought you said you didn't drink." He's like, "Yeah, I don't drink wine." He's not gonna lie about this. He's gonna,
Right,
you know, he has this semantics about his speech where he won't let on that he's serious, but he's
right,
gonna look you in the eye and tell you exactly what he's gonna do. And
right,
us being polite society and Jonathan Harker being polite society, we're like, "Okay, this guy's just quirky."
right. That's it.
He's just an
That's it.
old quirky man living in this
Right.
scary castle.
And like honestly, when when he had mentioned the devouring him and even the other things, as a viewer, you're not kind of paying attention to that either because you don't know the transformation that Dracula is going to make. You don't realize that no, like he really is going to devour him. You
Yeah.
don't really think that. So watching it, you're hearing these things, but you're really not paying attention to these things. Were
No.
you paying attention to anything that Dracula was saying other than that's funny, that's kind of,
I thought
you
he
know
was being cheeky, like,
yes,
a little
yes,
clever Dracula being cheeky is cute when you're old man,
right, right,
but as he started to change and
yes,
became less old, I was like,
yes,
"Oh, no, this man has, like, an aura about him." He's dead serious. He just
absolutely,
also gets off on playing word games with you.
yes,
He's like a cat with, like, a toy, you know?
absolutely,
He's
oh
already taught
definitely,
it. I'm just gonna beat it up.
right.
He likes to chat is the thing.
He loves to talk.
He's a talker.
Yes, he is. Absolutely loves to talk, and he's chatting it up with Mr. Harker. And Mr. Harker's looking around, and you hear things in the background, like you're hearing things.
Mhm,
You're hearing what he's hearing, but
mhm.
Dracula's telling you, what do you mean you're hearing? That I tell you, there
Yeah,
is no one here
who's
but you and
living.
I.
He says, "Who's living?"
Who he did say that.
Who
There's no one here who's living, which didn't pay attention to.
I
Didn't.
caught that. I was like, "Ah, this guy."
I was like, okay. Okay. I know I hear something, but okay. And I mean, if you know Dracula, like there's something there. But
Yeah,
I'm with Mr. Harker. He's just, like you said, he's a nice guy.
yeah,
He's gonna change this man. So
yeah,
they have this conversation. And I remember there was a scene where Mr. Harker had cut himself or something, and the cutaways of the Dracula when he has this frightening, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I love how they did that. The
Mhm.
cinematography, guys, in the film, it's excellent. It's really good. The
It
makeup
is.
is amazing. I mean, some of the monsters that you see, the other vampires, it's done very well. The setting to me was very believable. It's
Mhm.
exactly what you would want in this
Yeah,
film, and they captured that 1897 Victorian, Transylvania,
yeah,
London.
that
So
gothic
I have
fog.
to.
Yeah,
Absolutely. They did a great job at that. So I just wanted to mention that. But Mr. Harker goes to bed. He's hearing things, he's seeing things. The something outside of his window, because Dracula first says, well, I gotta go to bed. You won't see me till tomorrow
yeah.
evening. Hint, hint.
I'm
I'll see you
busy.
tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Tell them about Mr. Harker's first night
Okay.
there.
Well, this comes back to the interviewers who's interviewing Jonathan, trying to,
Yes.
she asks, "Have you guys had sex?" And
Right.
she takes him to his first dream on his first night there.
Right.
And as we all know, vampires can induce hallucinations and dreams.
Yes.
That's how they convince you to do what they want you to do.
Right.
And he approaches or Dracula comes to Jonathan in the nighttime while he is having fantasies about his fiance and
Right.
they're having relations, and
Right.
it quickly changes into Dracula, basically leeching off his life
Right.
force as he lays in bed dreaming these things, feeling good, feeling
Right.
ecstasy, and really he's dying. This is when he begins to
Yes.
die.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he
And to mix
does.
that with pleasure is such an
Yes.
interesting, like, vampirism, and
You're
that just
right.
happens. Like,
Yes.
they call it, what do they call that? Like, the vampire's kiss.
Yes. Yes.
You feel willing to give your life away.
Absolutely.
Bizarre.
And he does. So
Yeah.
there's another scene where he wakes up and he doesn't know if it's a dream or not. But when he was in that dream, remember the help me.
Mhm.
The when he looks out the window and he sees something and you see something there. He
Mhm.
leans back out the window and he sees just something scurrying away. So it appears on his carpet from the reflection of the window. When he sees Dracula again, he's like a little bit younger than what he was when he went to sleep. And I remember looking at that thinking, wait, he didn't bite him, but the dream, he had him.
Yeah, he had it.
Yeah, he had him.
Something is still
That happened.
happening. Yeah.
That
And
happened.
it did. And Dracula comes to Jonathan, and Jonathan's like, "Your English is excellent. What's going on?"
Right.
And I mean, we kind of breezed over it earlier, but when he does cut himself earlier
Yes.
in the episode,
Yes.
he's like, "Oh, like it's no big deal. It's nothing.
Right.
It's a little bit of blood." And Dracula's like, "No, it's not just blood. Blood is
Right.
lives."
Yes.
He This is like what really sets this Dracula apart. He looks at and consumes blood as
Right.
if it's reading a book, as if it's
Yes.
reading humanity's book, and
Absolutely.
ingests it because he cannot live it himself.
Right.
And that is such an interesting interpretation of
Right.
why a vampire needs us.
Yes.
So, yeah, he comes to him younger looking, and Jonathan's like, "Damn, your English is good."
Right. And even the nun, that's because they do a lot of cutaways. You see Mr. Harker at the hospital, and as he tells the story, obviously they're showing you the story that he's telling. But even a nun had mentioned to him, you know, how could you see if you're in Transylvania, whatever, how can you see the wordings? It's in English. You
Yeah,
know? And he's like,
he's
I
learning
don't
English
know.
too.
It's because you're English, because that's what you talk. So you see
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And also mentioning, she was like, "Are you sure he said blood is life?"
yeah,
Or lives, whatever he said. And he's
yeah,
like, "Yeah, I'm sure." And she's like, "No, that can't be right. That
yeah.
can't be right." And so
When he
you're
was
tripping
making,
on that because you're also questioning, did he say that? He did say that.
yeah,
That did go down. But we do know that he has been had, that
hmm,
Dracula definitely had sex with him. And so you see Mr. Harker go through this just depletion of health, of
yeah,
life.
yeah.
And the more he loses life himself, every time you see Dracula, and don't you find it interesting that it happens fast?
It
This
does.
is not something that took episodes for it to happen, like episode two. It happens quickly.
Absolutely. And Jonathan really makes the most of his time there. Like he has
Yes.
but maybe a month and a half there, if
Right.
that. It's
Right.
spaced out later when he is asking him to write his letters. And he's
Right.
like, "Oh,
Yes.
this is less than a month at this point. This is
Right.
very quick because
Yes.
any longer people are going to come looking for him.
Yes.
This needs to happen like rapidly."
Right.
And yeah, he gets sucked bone dry. I mean, we see him the first opening shot is him looking like a bone.
Yeah, it absolutely, like,
It's
absolutely. And
so
you're wondering,
quick.
so you're not questioning, is he alive? Mr. Harker's alive. I mean, he's just ill. He got something from Dracula.
Yeah.
And then as he's telling the story, you realize, oh wait, there's a fly in his eye, and she's,
He's like something different. He's not
girl,
exactly
yes, when that
alive.
fly was in his eye, it's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
he's
You
some type of living dead, or
yeah.
something's not right. But as the story goes on, remember guys, he's hearing these noises, he's hearing all these sounds, and then he starts hearing like babies and all that. So at night, Mr. Harker would go, and he would go and start finding tunnels, and there's more tunnels. It's a labyrinth, and he just finds all these things. But then he ends up in that room.
The
You
one
know
with the
which room I'm talking
boxes?
about. You
The
know
one
that room with them things in them
oh,
boxes
oh,
and
yes,
them
yes,
crates.
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
With the
Okay.
wives.
Oh,
With the wives.
dude,
I
that was the best scene, dude. I was like,
know,
that's some Michael Jackson thriller shit. Okay. They're coming out of boxes. They're
I know,
contorted. Their
I know.
makeup, they were scary as hell. And so then another one pops out of a box, and then another one comes out of a crate. And they're
Mhm.
all the women that he had. Those are, like
Yeah,
he said, there's no one alive in this house.
yeah.
No one is. And so Mr. Harker is freaking out. They're coming after him, they're running after him. And
And you know what they're saying?
go ahead. Yes, please.
They're saying, "Kill me."
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
they want an end to their suffering.
Right.
And, like, I there's a lot of sad things in media, but wanting to die and not being able to die,
Right.
there's no worse hell, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And to be forgotten about, to be just pushed away.
Done.
And the thing is, you can, like, kill undead things. It
Right.
takes caring that they don't suffer for eternity, though.
Right.
And to just discard them without even finishing the job.
I mean, you're like, these poor people been down here for how long? How
Hundreds
many
of
years? I mean, they're decayed.
Yeah.
and they can't die. They can't forever living this nightmare. And so that's what he's been hearing. But then he hears this baby. And the next time he sees Dracula, this man is like, what, 40 years old at
Yeah.
this point? I mean, he looks good. He's got, just the
He's
whole thing going
Manipulated
for
suddenly.
very, very, very. And he
Very
sees
snappy.
he's just like, he's back. He's back, He's got his body back, or, this new body that he's been wanting back. Like, everything is great. And then you see Mr. Harker's just a skeleton, just emaciated
Yeah.
looking and still confused, still I don't feel that he still is grasping what's going on.
He doesn't really until Dracula has him write the letters. That's
Yes,
really the last, because he's like, why would I write these? Even as he's writing them, and like,
right.
nobody's going to ask you to write letters that you're alive and then,
Yes.
date them for the future if they don't have very sad story plans for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And he's over here writing letters like, and what should I date this one? And why would I do that?
Exactly.
It's like, babe,
Come on.
come on.
Catch up
Well, you
with
know
us.
what
Have
Dracula
you
says? He said,
right.
"It's so your fiance doesn't come looking. Would you want her to come here and come looking for you?"
Right. Right. Cuz you don't.
Yeah,
You do
you
not
know you
want that.
don't.
Exactly. So this is happening.
Yeah,
And so throughout all this, guys, I mean, like we said, Mr. Harkin is he's dying. He finally sees the baby, and it's this creepy baby that Dracula set up and knew that would be. He's like, I didn't even know that would work. I see it worked really good, basically. And his sense of humor is just kind of funny. Some of
it's
the things that he
morbid.
says, it's very morbid, funny but morbid. Okay, you
Yeah,
guys,
my
and you will
favorite.
laugh at this shit. I'm telling you, you would laugh at this shit. But you see that baby crawling out of that little tunnel thing. He's been hearing that. But the lady that he ran into,
Yeah,
the one lady that he ran into that was like, please don't let him know that I can get in and out of this box.
right.
Please don't let him know.
And she's
And
a hungry vampire too.
she's very hungry.
That's the
She
thing.
is very
She's
hungry.
starving. That
Absolutely.
baby was her snack.
Yeah. And she
Yeah.
mentions, I am so hungry.
Yeah,
And Mr. Harker's like breathing. And so, anyways, she's dead.
yeah,
It's over with. Mr. Harkin's upstairs, and we're getting to these letters that Dracula wants him to write that Jesse's been bringing up to you guys. So
yeah.
he's writing his letters so that the fiance, no one comes and looks for him, because remember, guys, he only has 1 month. He's supposed to be back. We don't need anyone coming there. And Mr. Harkin loves his woman so much, his fiance, that he's not going to want her to come there.
Right.
So another scene, we're on the upstairs on the balcony, we're
Yeah.
outside, it's sunny, and this is just so sad. Tell them about that, Jesse. How
I
sad
love
was that?
this scene. I love this
Man.
scene. He is on the verge of dying.
Yes.
Dracula takes him to the top of the castle and he
Yes.
has him look out
Mm.
across the landscape, and he asks him, as if he has any room to ask him for a favor, he asks Jonathan, "Can you please describe to me the sun? It's been
Right.
ages since I've seen her. She
Right.
must be over the mountain between the two peaks. I wanna
Right.
know what she looks like."
Right.
And of course, Jonathan's like, "Kiss my ass." Like,
Right. Exactly.
I'm not look
No.
for yourself,
Right.
and he can't because
Yeah.
he's a vampire.
Right.
And the exchange up there, he Dracula drops a mean line on Jonathan,
Yes.
that, what death means to a mortal being. It being, I forget exactly how you phrase. You'll have to watch it and really let it hit you.
Yes. Yes.
I was like, this is, if only it could feel like that on your deathbed. I hope it does. I hope it does. And they have an exchange.
Yes.
And as we know, because Jonathan is telling the story, he escapes.
Yes.
Even despite all odds, despite
Right.
his general lack of health,
Yes. He
he
gets out of there.
he gets out of there. How'd you feel?
Right. And I have to say, I love the part where he's laying there on the ground and Dracula puts his cape out and lays right next to him in the shade. You have the sun, you have the shade. I love that part. I thought that
Mhm.
was brilliant and great, as
Beautiful.
he's perfect and Mr. Harkin is not. And he's laying there, and Mr. Harkin is, what we see is dying. He doesn't die. He's begging Dracula, please, please, just let me live. Blah 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 blah. Dracula's like, you have to promise me something. And Jonathan, or Mr. Harkin, he refused to. He would not do that.
Yeah.
And so he stays stubborn to the end. And then he's on the ledge, and he's like, I'm gonna kill myself. But what surprised me, and I had to rewind it, was he's getting ready to kill himself. He turns around and he looks at Dracula, and Dracula looks at him, and he's not in the sun, and he just starts screaming, just screaming. And I remember thinking, what was it? I didn't see it. What was that? Then when you rewind it, if you miss it, guys, you forget Mr. Harkin has a cross on his neck.
Hmm.
And that is like, a son to Dracula. So he sees that and just screams, and it's like he crumbles, dies. He's gone.
Right.
But before that, I do want to talk about Mr. Harkin dying, and then when he dies and then comes back and he's seizing out on the ground, just
Yes.
going through convulsions. That was just,
Because Dracula does he does end it. He ends it for him. He ends the
yes,
suffering.
yes.
But the thing is, in this series, which I really love, is that it's always kind of a toss up. Like, is
Right.
this guy gonna get back up? Is he gonna lay there? Is
Yes,
he gonna
right,
like be himself? Is he
right,
gonna be just a zombie? We don't know.
right.
And this fool gets up.
Yes.
And Dracula's like, wow, I really like this guy. This guy's got something. This could be a friend.
Right.
you know? I love that because he was like a little bit astonished, and you feel at
Yeah.
the point that he's really just an experimenter. He's just
Exactly. He doesn't know how this is going to turn out for them. He doesn't know. It's different for each and every one of them, because he mentions that, he
yeah,
mentions that. But Harkin's laying there and he's convulsing and he's doing this. And I think even Dracula makes a reference to, like, like, you're overdoing it, like, come,
yeah,
come, come to, come to,
yeah,
and then after that, guys, Dracula, Mr. Harkin standing on a ledge, and he's in the cross is there. Dracula, as he would do if the sun had, shone upon him,
yeah,
he would be, he would burn, but he didn't
yeah.
burn. He just screamed, he's done. Mr. Harkin, I think, throws himself over the edge, and and then it goes back to where he's at.
And
He's
then
with
we
the
are
nuns,
there.
and he lived through that.
Right,
So we know that he's dead. He
right,
just doesn't know that he's
right.
dead.
And in this moment, he's
Yes.
looking around at the people
Right.
he's talking to, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not even breathing." And they're like,
Right.
"Yeah, you breathe
Yes.
sometimes. I think it's out of habit that you breathe,
Yes.
but
That's right.
you've been dead. They found you face down, floating in the ocean, babe."
Right.
Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And the all that writing, remember the notes Mr. Harkin was
Mhm.
taking? They show him that.
That
What did
was
you think when it was just Dracula is God?
I
Dracula,
was
Dracula.
like, "This is sick." I love a detail. I love a detail
Yes.
that it's established sooner, only
Yes.
to be, like, later actually explored for
Right.
what it isn't. 'Cause it
Right.
same with Mina being there the whole time. I was like,
Oh my
"Okay,
gosh.
this poor narrator, he's trying to give us his story. He doesn't even know where he's at. He doesn't even know
Right.
how he got there."
Exactly. And the whole time, guys, so you have the two nuns. You think that the younger nun is like, her first day or her first week, and she's just, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. You know
He's
what
like
I mean? Like,
interning.
her first day as a nun, just, first day on a job.
Yeah.
And so, she's in training. That's what, you're thinking. And she doesn't say anything throughout this. Come to find out that whole time, that's Mina. That's his fiance.
Yep.
He never notices her.
'Cause he's
Blown
not
away.
he's not all there.
No, he's not. Not at
Mhm.
all. He's been dead. And
Mhm.
I thought that was brilliant when you realize that, oh my gosh, that's his fiance the whole time. He
I know.
never realized that. But some things start happening. You hear this werewolf in the background, just faint,
Oh,
faint
yeah.
sound of a wolf in the
Yeah.
background. You're not really thinking about it, right? Um, uh, then Mr. Harkin is like, he's here. Dracula's
Yeah.
here. The nuns run out of the room.
Yeah.
Things are going crazy. And then Mina and her husband, her fiance, Mr. Harkin, are together. And Mr. Harkin is hungry.
Yeah. Well,
Mina gets she gets cut. She
yeah,
gets cut.
she's begging him, "Please don't."
Yes. and he didn't want to, but he oh my god, remember he was like he did not want to do it, and
No,
he
I
goes to
know.
he grabs her, and you're like, oh my god, he's about to do it, and then he stops, he goes, grabs the steak. What did you think?
She's like thinking that her love is gonna save them
Yes.
is what's heartbreaking. And I'm
Right.
like, the nun in charge,
Yes.
Sister Agatha, I'm like, why didn't
Yes.
you leave them alone?
Exactly.
Why? Just, chain him up. Like, we've known,
Yes.
you know how he feels. He just pledged his fealty to Dracula. He didn't even notice he did that. This man is like not
Exactly.
there. You just left them alone.
Right.
And she's bleeding.
Yes.
Guys, come on.
And you guys, that's why Jesse and I are not going to get into episode 2 and 3, because you're going to figure out more about the Sister Agatha, and you'll go more into that. So we don't want to ruin that for you, but there's
Right.
reasons for everything in this series. Like nothing happens just to happen. There's a reason for it.
Like
So
literally everything we've just talked about
yeah,
is like half of the first episode. Like
absolutely.
there is
It's not
that
even.
much going on.
Yes, it's a lot
It,
going on. It
I did
really
not
is.
expect the arc to happen like it
Oh
did.
my
I'm not
gosh.
like and honestly to start the series like in the traditional sense, like
Right.
with the traditional storyline in a place
Yep.
that we all recognize as Dracula's home,
Yes.
and with the, like that's
Yes.
such a smart way to start it because
Yes.
we are then pleasantly surprised when it goes everywhere else that it goes.
Absolutely. You're not expecting it.
Uh,
The writers just did a great job. They
yeah.
really did a great job. The director did a great job. The actors were great. Okay. So
Mhm.
everything came together in this to give you Dracula. And like I said, I mean, this is one where they did it right. They really did it right. They stuck to the base story of Dracula. And I even have to say, when you see Mr. Harkin, Jesse and I were talking, he kind of has that Nosferatu type
Mhm.
of look to him, the big head,
Good casting. Yeah.
yes, he has that to him. To end this episode, guys, I'm just going to tell you, so Dracula does make it to the, what is it, monastery or whatever, hospital, whatever.
It's the
Okay, he
monastery
makes it there,
protest. Yes.
monastery. Okay, he makes it there, but he's not him. There's this wolf that's at the gate, and this wolf is just nasty, and you got the two nuns at the gate. All of a sudden, the Sister Agatha is talking to the wolf come
Taunted.
out. Yes, and this
Yeah.
scene is great. If you guys love great scenes,
This is the scene.
this is great. And if you like gore for the right reason, this is really good, because when he comes out of that wolf,
Mhm. Wow. I was awakened. Honestly, this whole scene I was glued. It's perfect.
right,
It's the
right,
pacing, the
yes,
taunting, the teasing,
yes,
the dialogue.
yes,
Like, this is a character study on Dracula. It's not
right,
about his, the victims even. We're looking at this man. This
yes,
man monster, this prince of darkness.
right, right,
Here he is in his element.
yes.
Wow.
Absolutely. It's just great. And he looks great. And he comes out and he's all bloody. What was the line he said, the little cheeky line he said to the nuns? It was so funny. It was a
Oh
freaking line that he
god.
said to them.
This scene is chock full of them. I know that he hits him with the ladies every time he's trying
Yes.
to address everybody. It's so
Right.
funny because
Right.
he's also like, in the buff. Like this man is
Yeah.
naked
Oh
and
my
you're
gosh.
all like, you know,
Yes.
oh god, I wish I could remember the
I
exact thing
can't
you're
think of
referring
it.
to.
And
It's a
when you guys hear that line, it's just absolutely hilarious. You laugh at that.
yeah.
Dude, this show gave me life, for real, no pun intended.
Gave you life.
Um, yeah, it was great. I really love this, and you guys will enjoy Netflix Dracula. There's 3 episodes, like I said, you guys. It's still streaming on Netflix. I think it's even streaming on Amazon. You guys can watch it on Amazon, but definitely watch it on Netflix. This is great. The actors is great. You guys hit me up in the chat, or shoot, hit me up. You can hit me up in the comment section, or you can email me at movieloversunite@gmail.com or rossietalks@gmail.com. Let me know what you guys think about this series. Did you guys miss it? Did you guys like it? And are you guys looking forward to the new Nosferatu that's going to be coming out? Can't wait for that. But I really hope you guys enjoyed our review. This is Jessie Fernandez, and she's a friend to the channel now. I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. She's very busy, you guys. She has a lot going on, but she took time out to sit with us tonight to do this review. Just to let you guys know, John and I just finished up, let's see, episode 7 of The Penguin. You guys, that's up right now. You guys can watch that. This episode will be up immediately, but then give us about a week or so. You'll be able to listen to this on all major podcast platforms, guys. Also, if you missed our interview with Matt Barnes, that's still up. If you missed my interview over on Rossie's Clubhouse with DJ Colleen Shannon, world's sexiest DJ, you guys, Miss Playmate, Maxim cover girl. She's doing big things. She's also going to be in a gangster film on Netflix. I can't wait to see you, Colleen. And I'm going to have you back on the show. Also, you guys, Rossie's Clubhouse is going to be going on hiatus. I'm going on my winter break, guys. I am so ready for Christmas. So, no Rossie's Clubhouse in December, but at the end of December, though, actually, at the end of December, I'm bringing on that young actress, Kristen Duff. You guys know her. She's a friend of the channel, and she did that movie with Eric Roberts back when she was like 17 years old. This girl has graduated high school. This girl is doing some big things, so she's going to come and sit with me, and we're going to interview her. We're going to bring her to the Clubhouse. She's ready for the Clubhouse now, guys. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me. You guys be good to each other, be nice to each other, and I will see you guys. I'll see you guys next week. Next week, the final episode of The Penguin, guys. I cannot wait. John and I are gonna review that. I hate that it's going away, guys. And then I have another friend. What's that? DM Fathoms. The new name.
DM. Yeah.
DM. Okay. DM. Amanda. She's going to come on the show, and we're going to do a rewatch of Paper Moon. Paper Moon is a classic. You guys know, you guys love nostalgic movies. This is great. A young Tatum O'Neal. I think she won an Oscar at 10 years old for her role in this with her dad, Ryan O'Neal. Paper Moon, an absolute classic, and I can't wait to discuss that with Amanda, and it's going to be here on Movie Lovers Unite and Rossie Talks at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are out, guys, so let's give us a minute here. We're going to put our overlay on, and we're going to head out, guys.
Bye.